So hello, good day to you. Today I am making a Booktube Newbie Tag video because I'm a Booktube newbie, and I'm going to answer some of these your questions. So why did you start this channel? So I started this channel because I didn't read for a long time, about 8 years consistently that I didn't read. I maybe read like 3 or 4 books in that time period, and I am literally a reader today because of Booktube. And while reading is not the most important thing in life, it is really important to me, and it was a passion that I had lost, and I just let it fall by the wayside. I kept seeing this one book, and so I looked it up and was able to pick it up and get back into reading because of a recommendation by a booktuber. And there's so much out there, books, movies, TV shows, and you can't watch and read it all. So sometimes you need a little bit of a nudge from someone, and if you connect with that booktuber or if you connect with that reviewer, that can help you try something, and it may be the perfect thing for you in that moment. So hopefully my channel can do that for someone somewhere someday. I mean, that'd be awesome. Number 2, what are some fun and unique things you can bring to Booktube? I mean, aren't we all unique in our own way? We all bring something different. Have you ever seen a booktuber that was exactly identical to another booktuber? Because I haven't, and I follow a ton of them. We all have our different takes on things. We all have our different style of humor. We all have just different things that we focus on when we read a story, and you're not going to get the same review from person to person. With that being said, I follow a ton of traditional booktubers, I guess you would say, that they're doing their TBRs, their weekly wrap-ups, their monthly wrap-ups, their book hauls, what have you, their reviews and things like that. And there are a ton that are amazing at it, way better reviewers than probably I'll ever be. I don't know if review is necessarily my strength. I want to do something that's out of the box. I want to be able to just take my fancy wherever it goes. So if I want to make a music video, I'll make a music video. If I want to do a skit, I'm going to do a skit. And if I want to, obviously I'm going to do a review of anything I'm reading, tier lists, whatever kind of crazy idea pops into my head. I just think you always know what you're going to get with the traditional stuff with my channel, but hopefully you'll also get some surprises that are just completely out of left field. Either you like them or you don't, but there'll always be something there for hopefully everybody that they can enjoy. Number 3, what are you most excited for about this new channel? So what I'm really most excited for is just being able to actually have real conversation, whether it's in the comments or what have you, following on Twitter or whatever it may be. I really enjoyed the times when I can interact with either other booktubers or just people who saw my video and want to just comment on the aspect of a series or a character or what have you, and we can actually have a conversation. It can really help you, or help me see a different person's viewpoint and maybe understand the character better, maybe understand a story element that I maybe misunderstood the first time or didn't give enough credit. The whole point of this is to really spur a conversation and help me better understand reading. I don't by any means pretend to be an expert on literature or how to break down a book or whatever. All I'm trying to give is my thoughts and my feedback on the soul of the story, what I think the actual book is really about and how I felt about it. And then way smarter people than me can come in and say, hey, this is what this meant, or this is how I took this, and I can learn from it, and hopefully other people can too. Number 4, why do you love reading? This is probably going to be the same answer as a lot of people. Obviously, I love to escape. I love to go to different worlds and meet characters that are larger than life. There's just something about reading, being able to really get fully inside the characters' heads and really understand motives and just different story beats and different storytelling techniques that these other things can't do. Now, there's things that the books can't do that movies can. But I love reading because it's just a more in-depth escape. It's a way to almost live another life. And when you read tons and tons of books, hopefully over many, many years, to me, I feel like you become more wise over time because you can think back to a time that this character was in a similar situation, even if it's a much more exaggerated situation than what you're in currently. It's still something that can help you either get through something or make a decision. That can just help you emotionally weather a storm. Also, just because it's fun. There's a lot of really fun books out there that make you laugh, that can just kind of ease tension or relieve some stress or just entertain you. Number 5, what book or series got you into reading? So when I was a kid, it was all the normal stuff like Harry Potter, Aragon, Star Trek. I don't know if that's normal, but that's the kind of stuff I read, like sci-fi, fantasy, like young adult stuff. Well, I'll talk about what got me into reading most recently. A year ago is when I really started reading consistently again. And there's a booktuber, I don't know if y'all know him, his name's Daniel Green. He recommended Mistborn, and I'd seen it on the shelves. I'd seen the name and I thought it was like from the 70s or something. I just kind of was like, hey, what is that? And I looked it up, and the first review I think that popped up was Daniel's. He just had a way of really making it seem like, hey, this is something that you should really go check out. And I just picked up the whole trilogy at once, and I read it all back to back. From then on, I've just kept going. And I think that that's what's really special about Booktube is if someone can hook you on one book, just one book, then you're going to start watching more of their videos and you'll say like, hey, this is another book that's kind of like that. And then you just go down this rabbit hole where you just find all this stuff you would have never known about. And it's like a fork in the road moment. Like if I had never clicked on that video, would I have all these books? Would I have this channel? To me, I'm very glad I clicked on Daniel's video. So kudos to Daniel. Number 6, what questions would you ask your favorite booktubers? So what I would ask my favorite booktubers is a couple things. Like, how do you manage your time? Because I mean, sometimes I see these people reading like 12 books. I get that they have a way faster reading speed than me. Between making videos, between work, just life, chores, doing other things like watching movies and TV shows, spending time on online forums or whatever you're doing, plus all this reading, like, do you have a schedule? Do you have a routine? Like, how do you go about that? The other question I would like to ask is, hey, how do you keep it fresh? Like, after you've done this for, let's say, a few months, a year, 2 years, 5 years, how do you go about making sure that you're not just hitting the same beats, that you're continuing to reinvent, that you're adding something new? I think that's really hard to do, especially over a long period of time. And I would just really love to know what their thoughts are on that. Number 7, what challenges do you think starting a booktube channel will be hardest to overcome? For me, I'd say I lean more introverted than extroverted. It's not in my nature to necessarily be super outgoing. And so it's a skill that I'm having to practice in how I deliver what I want to say, because for me it may sound engaging, but when I play it back it may sound dull. And so just trying to find a way to really get my point across, really try to communicate my excitement, even though just because I'm muted in how I say things doesn't necessarily mean that I'm not excited, but I have to look at it from how other people are watching videos and try to communicate in a way that they'll respond to. That's something that I'm definitely have a long way to go to work on. These are skills that you have to hone over time, so it's not going to be built in a day. If you go back and watch the first video of a lot of booktubers, which I love to do because I think it's kind of reassuring if you're a new booktuber just starting out, or any kind of YouTuber, just go back and watch the videos. A lot of currently successful YouTubers, and you'll see that their first videos were not amazing. You can watch their progress over time, and that's just how it is. So that's definitely going to be my biggest challenge. Number 8, when did you start reading? I started reading when I was a kid, just like anybody else, and I started reading consistently last year, almost exactly at this time. Number 9, where do you read? Our couch is super uncomfortable. Like, it's the kind of couch where like you sit and you think this is gonna be comfortable, but then the cushions start sliding out from under you, and all of a sudden your like spine is like folded in half. Not comfortable to read at all, and it's like the only place in the house that has like a lamp. So I usually read in my bed and just have like a lamp there, and got like my back pillow, and just kind of sitting at like at a right angle. But I really want, when we get a new house, hopefully, or a new apartment or whatever, I want those papasan chairs. It looks like a bird's nest, just it's like cradled on the little thing. And it can kind of rotate and wobble however you need it to be. And it's got the nice big ass pillow. I just want to like recline in there and, just have my lamp right there and my bookshelves, hopefully in the future, and just read right there. Seems like it'd be super cozy. You can kind of adjust it however you need to kind of move around and get comfortable. Number 10, what kind of books do you like to read? So the channel is called Fantasy Talk for a reason, because I want to talk about fantasy. I do also read sci-fi. I do want to branch out and read some non-fantasy, non-sci-fi. So I did pick up an audiobook off the recommendation of another booktuber, Shipwrecked Library, but I'm trying to branch out a little bit, but I am still going to say like 95% fantasy and a little bit of sci-fi. And I read that stuff because for me, it's just all about, it can do everything that everything else can do, but in just crazier ways, right? It's just up to the author, how deep do they want to go into the literary side versus just having fun. And there's a balance there, and that's what I love about it. You can just kind of get a little bit of everything all across the board in just a really awesome, fantastical setting. This has been my Booktube Newbie Tag. I welcome you to like this video or subscribe to my channel if you want to see more content, or you want to go check out my channel and see what all is already there. Appreciate y'all watching this video. Thank you for clicking on it. See you next time.